Good evening and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament right here in Active Citizens. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me in the studio as always, I have with me Ifoma Oji and our analyst in person of Ms. Chiamaka Ilora. Good evening. How are we all feeling this evening? How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm good.
Oh, nice to have you back. You've been MIA for some days now. Yeah. Nice to have you back.
Thank you so much.
As well.
Yes.
All right. And you, of course.
Of course, I'm fine. I was fine in the morning, afternoon, and I mean,
you continue to be fine.
Quite cold.
But you're dressed appropriately now.
Yes,
you got the memo on time.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take two stories, one of which we treated in the morning, and it led to Ms. Chamaka, I need to tell you the backbone between Ifoma and Mr. Dala Sacramento this morning. Hey. But anyways, we're going to be giving all of us the continuation of that story, but we'll first start off with the United States. Now, the United States is proposing a visa ban on corrupt Nigerian politicians. That's the first one. Now, earlier today in the afternoon, we saw a protest for Senator Natasha's resumption to office, led by Randy Peters, Mama P, and the likes of Aisha Yusufu, and it was a whole thing, not just these people, but the number of people that came out to protest that Senator Natasha resume office with no conditions. Right after that, we saw a video of Senator Natasha in her office at the assembly and addressing the public, which means that they have finally gotten victory, and all of that 6-month suspension finally came to an end, and now she has resumed office. But I'm going to take your take on this, because I already know what Ifoma has said earlier in the morning, but just briefly, so it doesn't lead to another buzzword. just briefly now, with how Senator Natasha was treated, the 6-month suspension, and even after it elapsed, they refused her entry into her office, the blockages here and there on the road and all of that. What do you think was the aim of now the federal government, because the federal government actually butted into the case and now filed defamation cases against Senator Natasha? What do you think was the aim of the federal government now? Was it to publicly humiliate her or something else?
Okay, for me, I think it's to publicly humiliate her for the audacity that she had in the house. So I think it's just to defame her character, make her, paint her look like a bad person or someone who is disobedient and all that. But then again, she stood for herself, and she also showed us that as women in politics, when you get to politics, you stand for yourself and stand for what's right. Because I feel that what they did to her was totally uncalled for. There were so many ways. There were so many ways to follow through whatever it is that was causing the problem. Because I feel that whatever caused the problem was not even tangible enough for that to be, done to an elected officer. So I feel that what she did, her resilience was just wonderful, and I love that about her.
Oh, beautiful. Now we've gotten your POV, and now we can proceed to what has happened.
I don't want my own now.
All the things the money was going off. I know it's here. And we need to move on to the other case. I don't know Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel is not around. So we are going to get to just, because we have had enough of your own POV in the morning. No, don't worry. Maybe tomorrow when there's another story we can talk on that, because we'll not leave here today. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is the fact that we also saw the protest. Now people like Randy Peters, Aisha Yusufu, Mama P, now they left social media and they brought it offline, all that support and everything. And I want us to just take a look at these videos, even while we have the conversation, because I'm still going to ask you a question, Ifoma. Now we saw that protest. What do you think, in your opinion, that signified?
I was like, that is it. That is the way to go about it. Energy. if not for the fact that I am not in this thing right now, I would have, if I were to be in Abuja, I would make sure that I am even among those people carrying that placard. Like I'll be at the front, row. Yes, rooting for her, because I mean, like I said earlier in the morning, that this lady was maligned. This lady, her constituency was missed and underrepresented for 6 months on something that could have, been amicably settled. It was just uncalled for, and for the fact that even the federal government had to step in. And do you know, there's even something I didn't point out to me, Sam.
I think you're passing that. No, this is the show now. I'm going to ask for you. No, I will tell you to calm down. No, I need you to understand something that will happen. No, I understand what you're saying, but I am trying to avoid something here. I don't want us to go back to the morning. What I asked you, what I need answers to, it's the video that you saw. What does that signify?
What I'm trying to tell you, that's what I didn't point out to Mr. Dixon and Daniel Sacramento, was that the federal court actually overruled that suspension, and they ordered the Senate House to reinstate her. That it was uncalled for, it was substantial. That was what I wanted to tell him in the morning. And now I'm loving the fact that people are supporting her, because I mentioned it in the morning that this was actually uncalled for. It was, for me, it was clear, maltreatment and intimidation and discrimination against gender. And you could see clearly that even men and female, we are supporting her, wholesomely. And for me, it's beautiful to see. This is exactly what I was talking about. I was never like campaigning for situations like Nepal, what Nepal did, but for the fact that we know that it is still our country, that if we don't fix all these things, then nobody will fix it for us. The energy.
So what was when you saw that protest, what did it signify to you?
It signified strength among us. So when we come together, both the youth, now people that are actually protesting are even the youth. Yes. So it shows that this country can actually turn around if we come together. So when we come together with a force, not violence, but then again making a statement, it shows that these leaders are ready to listen to us. It's just that most of us are afraid and scared. Exactly. So I saw energy, I saw power, I saw one voice speaking for someone who has been mistreated.
And now, just to wrap it up here, we also saw the video where Senator Natasha, when she was resuming office and addressing people, she thanked the likes of her husband, who has been really supportive, but to be honest, he has. She also went on to thank Randy Peters, that Aisha Yusuf, everybody that came out, and not just them, the ADC, the Labour Party, everybody that had something to say in her favor when all of this was happening. But from everything that has happened now, moving forward for Senator Natasha, what do you predict, or what do you think would be her response or her reception from her people?
I think they will give her one reception. I think her people has been supporting her right from the start, because I saw the joy. Even when there was a time they banned her from coming into her state or something, and you see how people enabled her and helped her get into I think her people is with her, and she's going to get a warm reception, a massive support, and also for her to carry on her duties.
All right, now to you, from the victory that she has had right now, do you think that this would start off a trend where people are more emboldened to challenge status quo?
Yes, definitely. She has set the pace for people to stand on their right according to the Constitution. You should be given fair hearing. You should express your opinion without interference. I am loving that. And I wanted to make a comment to what the question you asked her earlier, and I am like I think it will actually set the pace for more chaotic situations, especially in the Senate House. In as much as I see that her people, this thing is supporting her constituency is supporting her, wholesomely, but at the same time, this is not the end, because the court cases are still parallel. She will still, continue going for the court case here and there, and we never can tell. They might even bring up more, issues that will frustrate her, maybe out of office or even more suspension. So she should be wary of that.
Now we're saying, from what Ifeoma is saying, she's still looking at the fact that there might be Waterloo looming. There might still be things that might come up even as she has gotten this victory. Do you buy that, or do you think it's going to be a smooth sail right
I buy that, but I think Natasha is a very strong woman. So with the way things have panned out, I think even if those things come up, there are ways she will also, you know, walk around it. And also these protests, now people are now watching the whole thing play. So people will still come, yes, people are not paying attention to the case, so people will still come up to also support in a way, because I say, like, most times I talk about social media is very powerful. So most times people have gotten justice for that. So I feel that yes, she's going to have troubles in the Senate, but then again, the way she keeps on following that this is constitutional, this is not constitutional, everybody is now watching, everybody is now paying attention to see what. So I feel that, well, they will fight, but as I see her as a strong woman, so I think she will come out victorious and finish her tenure.
You also said something now about her just citing constitutions and what is written in the constitution. Now we've seen how she played by the book here. Do you think that as a nation that Nigerians know their constitution enough in order to wield the power that the constitution already has?
It's not everybody that know the constitution, and it's not everybody that play by that constitution, most especially those at the top. They will tell you about constitution, and they will make sure that they enact those laws too. They make sure that those laws affect the least people, but when it comes to them, it doesn't affect them. It favors them rather. So I think if maybe we should start making use of that constitution. I even have some reservation concerning that constitution, because who wrote it in the first place? But apart from that, I think we should start looking down, open our our eyes. We already have the social media, so maybe we can Google more on the constitution and know when to use them.
At the end of the day, you cannot claim to know your rights and not wield that right, and the only way we need to do that is by studying and understanding the constitutions that protect us and guide us. Now we're going to move on to the next story. This is the one that we wanted to talk about in the morning, but we're not able to. It is the proposed visa ban on corrupt Nigerian politicians from the US. Now I would want us to recall that in 2023 the US came out to say the same thing. Now do we think that this threat from the US is real, or is just political grandstanding now in this case?
Well, I think for me, like you said, since 2023, and I feel they're just trying to shake up our politicians, shake up the whole place. I don't think it's real, because if it's real, we are in 2025. They could have taken action, they could have followed up. But I feel that they're just playing politics with all these things, and I don't think they are really serious about it.
All right, now the US says that they have a duty to try and just boycott corruption globally. Now we saw the case of Wike's mansion abroad, and a lot of people calling on the US government to step in, since they have a duty to sort of control the global corruption that we have ongoing currently. Now with that Wike's mansions case and all of that, do you think that the US has positioned itself as a nation that is willing to already to stand against corruption?
Yes, most definitely. Let's remove the case of 2023. Let's look at Wike. Let's look at other cases that have come up, and they have been trying to probe into those cases. It is beautiful to see, I must say. But what they are saying here in essence is that since your leaders cannot play by the rules, since your leaders are not disciplined, we are stepping in to discipline people from your country or people from other countries. And I love that they are not just saying that you violated our rules, you migrated into our country illegally. That is what we are going to fight for. But this time around, they're saying we're equally fighting and throwing in our weight to make sure that we eradicate corruption in the land completely. So I am loving that if they could follow through with it, because I mean there have been cases whereby politicians, travel abroad and they acquire, some assets, buy land and the rest of them, and nobody is probing into it, nobody is saying anything about it. So I think that they can't just do this particular thing alone. They can't execute it alone. They still need the help of authorities, some authorities in Nigeria or probably other places, and with the help of journalists and whistleblowers and the rest of them, if they could actually gather more evidence against this, because without evidence they can't actually they can't hold water. So all
right, well said. Now, still talking about US stand on fighting against corruption. As it stands now, Sorry and some group of people have been petitioning the Attorney General of Florida. That is where this particular mansion and the other three houses, I don't know where they're scattered, but this Florida mansion is quite huge, and they spent millions of dollars. Apart from this case, now we're also going to take a look at the profile, or now the case record of our current president that is being protected by the same US. Now, with this posture, do you now still think that they are fighting against global corruption?
Well, like I said in the beginning, I think they're just trying to shake up the whole thing, because you can't do something for A and not do the same for B. So there is something that either they are not getting from particular person, or they are getting from a particular person that is helping them, while they are covering one person for the same crime that both people committed. So I don't think they are really serious. I can say it and say it over again. I don't think until you start doing a follow-up, until you start convicting people for what you feel that they've done, and take you serious. But if you are trying to play smart with A and play dumb with B, I don't buy that.
All right. Now, also, I'm also going to come to you for now. We've seen the US saying this now, and we saw the court proceedings where a Canadian court was addressing APC and PDP as terrorist organizations. Do you see other countries emulating the US? If they actually follow through?
Yes. Now, other countries like Canada, it was Canada that tagged APC and PDP terrorist organization, that they are going to ban them. Anybody that has to do anything with APC and PDP, whether you're true or you're not true, they will ban you from entering their country. So yes, other countries have been emulating that. But are we seeing more emergence of this? It's very much possible, because the other countries have seen that Nigeria, when we talk about Nigeria, it's more like the picture you see there is corruption in full mood. You understand? So other countries might actually be emulating that.
Now, also to you, Chamak, I'm going to ask the same question, but with a little twist. Now, she says that there's possibility that they do this, that other countries emulate what the US is doing, but we know that Nigeria is an oil-rich country. When you look at the policies that the foreign trade policies that the US made, where they increased the percentage of tariffs on all imported goods from other countries, you see that percentage, that increase did not affect oil. They increased on other imported goods, but not oil. Now, do you think that based off of that other countries would be able to withstand or stand their ground and say, oh, we can't allow Nigerian or corrupt Nigerian politicians into the country and lose the oil that Nigeria has to offer?
Obviously, it's impossible, because I feel that people greed most times helps in these things. And like we're saying, Nigeria is corrupt, the other countries are also corrupt. So they buy into the corruption because obviously they need something from Nigeria. So you see how why they are playing hanky-panky. So I believe that honestly they are going to really play along with Nigeria.
So
just like kind of, you know, play with the citizens and, you know, make us feel that they are that good country that wants to help us, but then again, there's something they are gaining from Nigeria that will not really allow them to be strong or stand strong against a particular thing.
I hear you.
I think there was a particular time when we were talking about, you know, the US kind of reducing the number of, or the exportation from Nigerian, you know, goods, Nigerian made goods, this oil and the rest of them. I think we read it, we discussed it one time.
I talked about the import tariffs. It didn't affect the oil, it just affected other things.
Yes.
No, they said it affected. I think I read the news.
Okay, the one I read, it didn't affect oil.
Okay, maybe what she said might be
all right. Now the question that I want to ask now, do you think that this pressure from the US can lead to actual prosecutions within Nigeria now?
Yes, it will, because first of all, if Nigerians don't take action, it will look as if they are trying to shield the corrupt politicians. Then if they take action, it will be like, oh, you are trying to, you know, call these people a liar and all that. So I think that they are just going to, you know, kind of play along, and, you know, and maybe they will try to do a half-baked reform policies and all that, and make it look like they're trying to do something, so that people will say, oh, our country is actually trying to do something, and we are, you know, in that, getting to that place, and they keep doing it year after year and year. So it's just, they're just deceiving us, and we know that they're deceiving us. But I think at some point, I believe that we will get it right
at some point.
Because we are actually breeding younger ones that, you know what these older ones know. So I think, even though some people are corrupt, but I believe that there are, you know, people that genuinely want this country to work.
Now,
I don't want to go anywhere.
I'm going to add to that. Okay.
I want to say something. I think I buy into what she said. I mean, trying to, you know, bring up this half-baked, you know, reform.
Yes.
But let me tell you, is it not Nigeria that we live inside? They are not doing nada.
I swear.
The only thing that you're going to see is those, you know, individuals that call themselves politicians.
Yes.
They will begin to do things in secrecy,
hide
corruption secretly. Make sure that their account, it will look as if maybe they are trying to account,
or they are trying to probe a particular person.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
But we know they are not doing
that
anything.
their finances are still opaque.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, there is those individuals that are going to try and do something. But if it is for the country as a whole, they will dish have big this thing, but they are doing nada.
Now, one more question I'm going to pose to the both of you now. There was a time we had a story here on the show where EFCC came to state or make a public claim that Yahoo boys are, causing us more visa restrictions. And I remember asking a question during the show that between our politicians and Yahoo boys, who is giving Nigeria the worst rep? And we all had our personal opinion. Now I'm asking now, you saw what they said. They said corrupt Nigerian politicians.
Yeah.
Between the politicians and Yahoo boys, who do you think is giving Nigeria a bad image?
I've told you earlier that these corrupt politicians, they are actually the one fueling the younger ones. Because if you are disciplined, if you are good character, I think it will rub off on the younger ones in your nation. So it is because these people wear impunity like coats. That is why other people have the impetus to perpetrate crimes. And they go across borders. So they are the beginning, they are the genesis of everything. If they should tame their corrupt practices, maybe it can start rubbing off on other things. But if you are asking me, the person that is more, what is it called? When
that gives us the worst.
Yes, is the politicians first of all before the Yahoo boys.
Now,
because then again, the country, if they made the country a better place,
that's what I actually wanted to say. Yes, if the country is working, if they are not ripping us, if the country is working, working. I don't think people would key into Yahoo because the stress these children go through doing that, going to HK and all that is stressful. So if these politicians made this country to be working, the way they send their kids abroad to go and study marvels me. And we are the goats that needs to study in Nigeria. That needs to study in Nigeria, and they take when they are sick, they move abroad to take care of their health and everything. So the system is not working, and these people needs to, like, they need a good life.
They do.
People need to take their parents from the poverty and so many things from the slum. So they key into the Yahoo. That's the easiest way. They even do the sacrifices they do by late nights and all those things.
Yes.
They are working.
Now you know what?
They are working. So it's just it's bad. We are not encouraging. But I'm trying to say that it's the politicians that are fueling these things. So I'm not encouraging a Yahoo person. What you're doing is bad. You are ripping people off. Go and find something to do. Learn a skill. Do something.
You mentioned something now. We are going to give a special shout out from all of us here about these politicians and their children studying abroad. We're going to give a special shout out to Wike's son Jordan, who graduated from the UK today. So shout out to you, yes, UK, and your family. We hope that you celebrate this and he grows up he becomes a lawyer that can stand for justice
in Nigeria,
anywhere he wants to serve. So just shout out to Wike and his family. Now moving on to my next question. Now, do you think that if this should actually pull through, that this would influence political behavior at all?
Yes, now it will. If it pulls through, which we are praying for, it will, because you wouldn't want to be pasted there as a corrupt politician, someone destroying your country. So others will learn from it. The rate of corruption will reduce, and I pray it works.
Is that baby? But there are other countries people can travel to. It's not just
other countries will key in. That's one thing about this. Once USA takes a lead, other countries will key in. It's just as
it has been corruption has been in the system for a very long time.
But
even before you and I were born, so let me tell you, because there's something I talk about, which is this rotational leadership that is in Nigeria. The only way this can fall through is if you bundle all these old people, bundle all of them, shift them one side. No, you can. Coming 2027, we still have the election coming.
Yeah, we have. But do you see people coming out? Do you see people coming out?
Yeah, that's another thing. Maybe they start coming out.
So let them come out in mass, because this is just recycling. So when you look at people coming out for the 2027 election, you will see it's the same old people, the same rotational. So we beg more people that are willing to change Nigerians to come out.
No, there will be a revolution, because
we are hoping.
As regards Natasha's case, you could see the crowd supporting her. So we are ready.
Now we're looking forward to 2027, the elections and all of that. And quickly, I'm just going to deviate a little. Now, you said something. You said we are not seeing the representation. I even thought you meant from the voters or the pre-voter registration and the low numbers that we've heard from INEC. Not generally, but just in the southeast is really disheartening. And we've had the conversation, and people have said that people have lost trust in INEC to conduct free, fair elections and credible elections. Now, from now to 2027, practically speaking, do you think that Nigerians can have that trust again? Do you think the INEC has what it takes to regain the trust of Nigerians before 2027 elections?
I think I don't know, but I think if there are some, like I said when we talked the other time, it depends on what the INEC chairman starts.
Do you think they are willing to do that?
The way Nigeria is corrupt, I think now what they do is, will you give me and I will let everything slide. So I don't know, but then again, I think we should start from even the leaders coming out. Let's see somebody that represents what we want come out first. Then, because I know that with this, when we push through, like she said about these protests and all those things, I know they've done it in PO's case. But then again, I really, most times when they talk about this, the way the situation is just disheartening. So I don't know, the INEC, they have a lot to do. And when this INEC chairman, when they get into seats, even their processes of getting into that seat.
Yeah.
Can I get you in a position and you go there and do some? Yes.
Okay.
So it's just tiring.
All right.
This can work only if somebody help me.
Okay.
Like in the name of God, help me. Bondo Mahmood.
He's going to leave very soon.
Somebody should bond. No, he needs to be bundled. He
will leave very soon. Okay.
Let them bundle him out. That is number one reform.
But what will you now do about the chairman coming in
now? That is the number one reformation. And then I think there should be criterias for these people to be appointed. You can't just bring anybody.
Actually, that was what I just
that's what I say. Yes,
I can't appoint you and you work against me. It's just
the same.
I think at the end of the day, right, they need these electoral reforms that we have been crying for and clamoring for. It's what we need to see, because it has to start from INEC. If we are being honest, it has to start from INEC. There is no way, even if we encourage people like they did in 2023 to come out en masse and vote, there's only one recognized body, except we have another one we don't know about, and that's INEC. INEC is the only body that is recognized by the government to conduct this election and to release the results. There's no way that they can be, or the way that the chairman, for instance, comes into power, and it's by a somehow means whereby the president is the one to say, oh, this is the person that I want, or the executive is the person to appoint them. If they can change that entire process of appointing the chairman, then I think it will be the best for all of us.
Yes, but the chairman, I want to actually say, I think the media house should also take up on this, because they are more like the fourth arm. So now, if you're a media house and you're in the polling unit at the day of election and you are streaming live, let it be just a sacrifice you do for your country. You are streaming live. I don't think they can actually manipulate those things like that.
No, apart from the media house, you as
it's like a
suggestion.
Yes, you can start that.
What happens when they don't even come up, when they show up late?
That's the problem.
Okay.
So you just have to, because we want Nigeria to be better, we just have to sacrifice that.
Can I say something?
Okay.
Apart from the media, because most of the times the media have been saying that, they haven't been, delivering their mandate as they should.
Yeah.
So I think we, as the civil society, equally have a role to play.
So when you get your phone,
you don't just come for election, cast your vote, and then you leave. Wait back.
Yes.
Ensure that those people upload the right results as they counted it there. Ensure that they upload the correct results before you exit the area.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Now, I like the suggestion, and I want us to be practical. If you remember in 2023, there is a popular sound now that is trending. LP 71, LP. Those were people who waited back to count their results.
In how many polling units?
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Polling units.
But now
we have people like that, then
remember, I don't know if you can recall, but I can remember clearly one of those polling units, right, where they were calling out results like that, because it wasn't just that video. Other polling units as well, they would come out and publicly read out the numbers. Now, in those polling units, when INEC was releasing the result, it was inconsistent. A lot of people on social media came out to say that they were in that polling unit, and this was not the numbers that they saw. Now, INEC also came out to say that they had glitch. So how can where do we go from here practically?
Reform should start from INEC, because I believe as they call themselves INEC, they are the neck of possibly the entire country. And if these politicians, because it's more like the game here is pay and play. If these people stop or reject the money that are coming from these politicians to make make them do their biddings, then I think reformation is starting off. And apart from that, just like we talked about that, the media has a role to play.
Yeah.
I think reform should equally start from the local government, trickle go to the state government, and then to the federal government. So all hands must be on deck if we should talk about anything reform.
And I also think that most of these agencies we have are also like the corruption is just round. So because INEC is there doing what they're doing, the police are supposed to be in the polling unit. What are they doing?
Good question.
So the truth is, so the truth is that these agencies, these systems, they are just in circle, and the corruption is just going around.
Now, just to wrap it up, finally, you said something, and I like to be practical. You said when they offer you money, you reject it. But we know that money is not the only tool of control these people wield. They go as far as threatening family members, threatening loved ones. Now, you mentioned our role as a civil society. How do you think we can improve security for these people that want to stand by the truth?
If, let me say, for example, how would they even would they threaten you before the election or during the election? That's what I want to understand, first of all. And then if it is as regards on the day of the election, I think probably you should make it public. That is, for me, the headway. Yes, make it public.
That these particular people are threatening you in case anything happens to you.
Then let the people presently there fight for you. And we've already seen the importance or the role that social media plays. You will still see people supporting you all round in whatever you do. And the likes, we are seeing the likes of, you know, this guy, what's his name? The guy that we talked about that was helping what's it called? Natasha. Randy Peters. We are seeing Aisha Yusuf. We are seeing Very Dark Man. We are seeing a whole, even celebrities. So there are a lot of people that have mounted to make sure that they effect change in the land. So we will take it off from there, definitely.
All right, now I'm going to just ask the same question, but finally, just briefly wrap it up, right? She has said, make it public, let everybody know with what happened with Senator Natasha now. But the people that we mentioned are not security operatives. If, for instance, you're getting threats from the federal government, he's the chief security officer of the state. There's something that the Zamfara state governor said. He said he cannot give the army a command or an order to obey. They take their orders from Abuja. Now, if we have that, I'm saying, are we willing to sacrifice our loved ones at the expense of good governance? And do you think we have to get to that point before Nigeria would see substantial change in our system of governance?
No one is willing to. No one is willing to, give out their loved ones just for Nigeria to be better. And I don't pray we get to that extent where you are exchanging loved ones. Yes. So I think, like, I will still buy with what she said. If somebody is threatening you, the police people tells people that if somebody is threatening you, you have to make a report, make it public. That making it public will actually help. So if something happens to you, they know who is responsible. But then again, after knowing who is responsible, how do they further the whole case? Because even if you get it to Nigerian police and everything, they will still have their way, because like I said, the whole system is corrupt. Because if he's talking about that, we heard so many rumors when Mobile died and so on. So was it followed?
How was it followed?
So these are those things.
All right, thank you very much, Chiamaka, Ilora, and you, Ifoma Oji, for always doing this with me on the show. What a wonderful conversation as always. And to our VIP viewers, thank you for joining. We see your likes, your shares, your comments, and we appreciate it. If you're yet to follow us across all social media platforms, what are you waiting for? Endeavor to do so right away and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find me on my personal page at Sharon Enemchuku. And you?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Miselex.
You can find me on Facebook at Ilora Chamaka Teres, and same on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, so till we see you tomorrow for Morning Pulse, do have a good evening.